Miami who told me the craziest breakup story I've ever heard. Proof that trauma bonding is real. I met a guy in Miami last year. Quiet, polite, but with that look in his eyes like he'd seen too much. We started talking about travel, and somehow I ended up hearing one of the most unbelievable true love stories I've ever come across. One that still makes me wonder what happens when survival stops being the glue in a relationship. He's from Eastern Europe. When the war started, everything flipped overnight. He told me, some people can live normally during missile attacks, but somebody can't. She could, but he couldn't. She managed to stay calm, working, cooking, pretending things were still fine. He couldn't. The tension, the sirens, the randomness of danger, it ate him alive. Her mother had a disability which created one possible escape route. So they got married, not for romance, but for survival. He became her official caregiver, and together they drove the border. After a few hours of serious interrogation from a border patrol, they successfully escaped. A few days later, they ended up in Belgium. The government gave them a small apartment, nothing fancy, but safe. Private bathroom, shared kitchen, clean and quiet. They never complained, especially her. She's from a very simple family, and for her, it was normal. He worked remotely in digital marketing, she taught online. They earned well, saved, and even bought her dream SUV. For a year, things went smoothly, until they started hunting for a long-term apartment. He offered to pay a full year up front, but every listing had 200 applicants. They were comfortable, but constantly waiting for stability that never came. So he suggested, let's travel while we wait. And they did. Italy, Spain, Portugal, Germany, a new country every month. They didn't pay rent, so he thought, why we should lose this opportunity? It looked like a dream, but somewhere in between airports and suitcases, something shifted. She started talking more and more about Barcelona. He hated the idea. Too chaotic, too expensive, not their plan. But love bends logic, so he gave in. He told her finding a pet-friendly apartment in Barcelona was almost impossible. They had a dog. He ended up paying X 3 times deposit just to convince a landlord to take them. He signed everything, transferred the money, and they moved in. 2 days later, she said she needed to fly home to see her family. He helped her pack, carried her suitcase, kissed her goodbye. When her plane landed, she texted him, I need a divorce. No fight, no warning, just that. She left with the dog. He was stuck in one of the most expensive cities in the world, with a year's rent paid, a pet deposit, and a lease he couldn't break. He told me he just sat there, surrounded by unopened boxes, wondering what just happened. But here's what hit me. He didn't spiral, he didn't chase, he stayed. He worked, went to the gym, met new people, lived through the year. When the lease finally ended, he got his deposit back, closed that chapter, and booked a one-way flight to Miami. That's where I met him, calm, collected, almost peaceful. He told me, some relationships survive fire, ours couldn't survive calm.